Welcome back to How to Souls. My name is Rach and today we're going to continue with our walkthrough of Dark Souls 3. Today we're going to tackle the Catacombs of Carthus. So this will only be available to you if you've killed both the Deacons of the Deep and the Abyss Watchers. So you kill the Deacons, you get the doll behind the podium, and then you kill Abyss Watchers and now you're able to use the doll. Before we do anything else, we're going to first nip back to Firelink Shrine. You know, same old, progressing some NPC quests. We're going to head over to Hawk here, who reacts now that we have killed one of the, I was going to say the Firekeepers, the Lords of Heckin Cinder. Over here we have Igon, which I have no idea if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but we have Igon, who is looking after Arena. Remember him? So we're just chatting to him, just chatting to everyone. And then once you've done that, once you've spoken to Hawk in particular, head out here, outside of Firelink Shrine, and then on the left we find something curious. Now this is just to progress Hawkwood's storyline, his NPC quest line, if you will, and you can go over here to this gravestone and pick up the Hawkwood's shield. It's just a little extra little thing. If you did want some lure, etc., this progresses that, essentially. So, we got Hawkwood's shield. Nice. Right, so, back into Firelink Shrine. We have 30,000 souls, so let's just pop them into Endurance. Endurance is going to be really good for us now. So, our dex is nice and high. Like, each hit is hitting hard. Over here at Ludlith. Lud. We're going to go over here and chat to Lud. Because we killed a couple bosses here and we can buy their weapons with the souls. With the Abyss Watchers, you've got the choice of a Dex Greatsword or a Strength Greatsword. The Dex one's free. The Strength one costs a lot of money for some reason. It's not easy being a big bonker, I guess. But I'm a huge fan of the Dex version, the free Greatsword. It's the one that you have a big sword and then you have a tiny wee dagger that kind of goes with it. I quite like that one. Okay, so from Farron Keep, heading straight to this altar, because we killed the Deacons and we got the pickup, this will now open. It won't open without that. So now we can head down to the Catacombs of Carthus. Fantastic. So this area is populated by the undead. Well, so's the whole game, I guess. The skeletons. There's loads of skeletons. And if this is your first Dark Souls game, you might not know, but if you're returning from, say, Elden Ring, this will be very familiar to you, and the skeletons do resurrect. However, they only resurrect when they have, like, purpley glowing eyes. You'll notice there the second time when that skeleton stood up, it no longer had the glowing eyes. So if you want to just play it nice and safe, just if you see glowing eyes, just sit and wait for it to resurrect. This guy can be quite a pain, or he can just lob himself off the edge. It can go either way. Either way, you probably don't want to fight this guy on the bridge. You just want to pull him back so you have a bit more space to play with and roll around with, because they're really speedy, these guys. You can sort of stun lock them. We have a bit more endurance now, so we're able to do big combos now. So you can sort of, the strat with them is to basically just to stun lock them. We have been parried! So that is another thing these skeletons do. This one doesn't even have a head, and he's managed to get the parry timing down perfectly without even using a buckler. Damn, they're skilled. So if you do get parried, don't panic. You can just mash the circle button, or B button, I guess, depending on what you're playing on. And you do have to, oh, bye, son! You do have time to roll out of the way. Unlike, say, the Baldur's Knights in Dark Souls 1, they don't give you time. There are lots of traps in the middle of the path. Get in the habit of either watching your feet or just not walking along the center of a path in this area, because there's loads of these little pressure pads that have arrows that fly at you. Getting hit by one or two isn't going to kill you, but if you stand there and get hit by all three, if you get stun locked, it could be quite a terrible time. If you've been following this walkthrough to a T and you have like 27 vigor, you probably have nothing to worry about. But I'm going to assume that, I don't know, you might be walking along with low health. You might be erring on the side of, what's the opposite of caution? You might be overconfident. There you go. There you go. It's going to take quite a lot to kill us at this point with this much HP, put it that way. This is an illusory wall. You can hit it with your weapon or roll through it. We've got a skeleton here with glowing eyes, so what we're going to do is just stand here patiently and wait for him to resurrect. Because if we go further on, what's going to happen is we're going to pull more, and then this one's going to come up behind us, and it can become a little bit tricky that way. Pick up on the right here is the Carthus Pyromancy Tome, so we can give that to our fire-loving friend back in Firelink Shrine. Here's the archer that was giving us a wee bit of bother, so that's him down. He didn't have glowy eyes, so we don't need to wait on him resurrecting. A lot of these platforms have bits where you can drop down them for a much faster way through this area, so if you do find yourself dying, we do make it through this area all in one try, but if you do find yourself dying, I will show you a speedy way to get down to save you doing all this every single time. So don't worry, but for now, obviously, we're going through for the first time and we're going to take our time. Yeah, these guys can be... Oh, God. These guys can be quite a pain because their speeds, their agility, but their health isn't too high. They've dropped Carthus Rouge and also some Titanite shards. We don't really need either, but good to have. So just heading up the stairs now just to kind of illustrate to you what I mean. Oh, we got some lads following us. Neither are glowing. They are kind of tricky though. So we're just taking our time. There we go. Use the pillars to your advantage. Obviously you can sort of kite them around the pillar if you do need to heal up. But yeah, that's how these rooms interconnect. It's not too complicated. It's largely linear. And it's not such a big deal if you miss something, but it's a fun little area, so it'd be a shame to miss stuff. So we got two paths here. We got this way and we got this way. So we got left and right. Right is the one with the stairs that go down the way. So we're going to take the left first of all and head through here. We do have some skeletons forming behind us. There's about 6 of them. So be aware. Oh, 4. 4. It looks like more. 4 skeletons can feel like 40 in this game. I did mention it would take a lot to kill you. 4 skeletons could definitely kill you, I think. So we're just running away. Trying to separate them is key. So we got one that's come out by himself. We want to time our weapon strikes so that the skeletons kind of walk into them. That's kind of how we're playing with enemies like this, especially when we've got a group. Here's Henri. Poor Henri. He's not doing very well. He's looking for Horace, who, to be honest, I don't know why he misses him so much. He was never really that good conversation anyway. But yeah, we're going to find Horace very shortly. So that's Henri. That progresses his quest, just chatting to him there. You can skip this step. Like, you don't have to talk to him there, I believe, because I didn't actually know he was there. So, yeah, just a little bit like, you know, if you're enjoying the story, if you're enjoying the NPC quest lines in this game, here's the next step in Henri's journey, and what a journey it is. Okay, so that's sort of this path done. At the end, you can drop down, but what we're doing is we're going all the way back up to where we saw the... well, actually, we're going to the start of the area at the minute, just to sort of show you how it all connects up. Sorry if that's a bit higgledy-jiggledy-piggledy, but hopefully it's helpful. It does all connect up. We're not missing anything out. But if you do die, say, to those 4 skeletons and you're wanting back down quickly, if you go here on the right, so if you don't go across the bridge at all, you can drop down these platforms here. There is a skeleton here, but you can get a plunging attack on him. Or attempt a plunging attack on him. I'm not sure why that didn't work. Yes, skeleton archer down. And then you can drop down here. And this... oh, we'll get this guy first, sorry. This staircase just here, this one just here, this is... we looked out upon this staircase and didn't take this path. So just showing you, that's how that connects up. We've not missed anything. This is a perilous staircase, fraught with peril, fraught with traps. There's a great big heckin' ball of nope that rolls down here as soon as we trigger it by walking on it. However, if you locate this mad lad, there's the ball. There's I was going to say the meatball, but it's made of bones, so there's no meat on it. That's quite funny. There's a lad with a hat. So you defeat the lad with the hat, and then the ball is like, no, mate, that was my friend. And the ball just gives up, just explodes. I guess maybe Hat Lad was controlling the ball. Maybe, I don't know. They're linked. Kill Hat Lad, the ball will explode, and then you can get the undead bone shard from it. One of these is glowy. Let's just back off and heal. Yeah. The headless ones are like scarier than the heated ones. It was going into a parry stance there. That's where you want to be aware. Try and get behind them, or just wait it out, really. You don't really want to be riposted. Halfway up the stairs here, now that it's safe to grab it, is an ember, should you require it. Embers, once again, when you're embered, which we are at the minute, you do have 100% of your HP, whereas if you die, and you lose your ember, you're operating at about, I think it's about 75%. You're losing a chunk of health. And health is king in this game. Like, you can survive a lot when you have enough HP, so. Oh my god, that's such an obvious statement. Obviously, you know what I mean. You know what I mean. Okay, so this room's kind of interesting. It's full of these urns that are full of bones. Chock brim stuffed full. And a lot of them have, like, spirits in them. Angry, vengeful spirits. That sort of look like dark magic. So careful when you're rolling through them. You can't really get away. Like, there's no way to tell, really, as far as I'm aware of, which ones have the spirits in them. You just have to sort of break them and then try and not get hit. Use the pillars. Just like so. Or they run out pretty quickly. Right, what we've just picked up there is the Carthus milk ring. So this is a fun little ring for this build. Slightly boosts dexterity and obscures rolling. So it gives you 3 more dexterity points, which is fab. That's our main source of damage. And rolling is our main source of evasion. So that's cool. It doesn't really do anything to your roll. It doesn't give you any extra invulnerability frames or anything like that. There's another ring that does do that. What this one does, it just sort of like makes you vanish in a puff of smoke, which I don't think it really has any effect on PvE. However, in PvP, it could confuse people, maybe? I don't know. Mainly, we're using this for the... for how cool it looks. I don't know. Nah, we're using it for the 3 decks at the minute, so we're just using it for now. It's a good ring for us. And you get 4 ring slots, so... it is good for one of those slots. I'm just watching this with, like... my eyes are getting wider and wider because it's just like spirits are going through the pillars. He's throwing stuff at us and summoning more spirits. This guy's doing twiddles. 1 HP in a dream. Oh my goodness. So what we want to do in a situation like this is the exact opposite of what Charlie's doing. You want to just stop, recognize that things are going a wee bit wrong, and you want to just bolt back the direction that you came from. Don't stand there and fight. This is messy. She can do it because she's a mad lad. But yeah, what you want to do in a situation like that is just run away, but run back the way you came, where you know it's safe. You've already killed everything. Careful of traps like this one up ahead here, the pressure plate just beside that shiny. We're out of heals now, but there is a bonfire up ahead, not too far away. So we are pressing on, but don't be afraid just to nip back to the bonfire, or, you know, if you want to preserve your souls. Or just to get as far as you can and die and just accept that you might lose them. I don't know. You can activate the pressure pad and then use the trap to hit the enemies, because they can get hit by it too. However, you kind of have to maneuver them in a way that they're standing in exactly the right spot. And then chances are, if they're in that spot, you're probably also in that spot. So it's great. That was gorgeous. Did you see how close that was? She just knew exactly where to sit, just to walk. Anyway, right, well, we're done gushing over the gameplay, guys. Let's proceed. Up ahead, there's another ball of nope. But the good news is there's also a bonfire. We're just grabbing this large titanite shard. I was going to say we're grabbing this large titty. That's amazing. We're just grabbing this large titty. Demonetized. And then this bonfire is right here. So resting would be wise. Okay, so we haven't rested because it's not necessary at this time. We're actually just heading back round the way we came. And because we didn't rest, everything that is dead is still dead. It has not revived, obviously. Whoopsie. Careful of that. There's a shiny here. Now, this is sort of the area above where we're about to go. So we're not skipping anything, but there is a jump here that we can try and make. It's really tricky, though. It's... there's got to be like a certain spot you have to land on. So that's what we're going to just attempt. But it's not a big deal if you miss it. We can get that thingy in a sec. And we miss it. No bother. We got some ratatas down here. So this is where the ball is, so careful. We've just sort of ran in there very heroically. We got lucky. That's where the ball is. Don't worry though, we'll get rid of that ball shortly. So, time to rest. Time to rest, refill our health, refill our Estus, respawn everything, but we're not going back that way again anyway, so it's fine. Right. Okay. Let's move on. So we've got to find our hat lad to get rid of this ball. That would be good. But until then, we can use the ball. The ball will damage other enemies. Once it goes past, follow it. My advice, do not keep following it. Wait there at the entrance because this will now hit us. We had enough health to take it. We sort of partially rolled through it, so we didn't get knocked down, which was good. But yeah, you want to just wait just by the door. And then again, just after the ball rolls past you, follow it down. And then you'll have enough time to escape. Right, so once you get to this grate, you will be invaded if you are embered, which we are. If you've died, no bother, you won't get invaded. By Knight Tsorig. He is he's a great sword, great shield kind of guy, which is a direct counter to this build, really, because he has such high poise that we can't really combo him. See, like, there we go. He's poised through that. We can hit him a couple of times at most. He hits us really hard, and he can block our shots as well. It's kind of just an endurance thing with this guy. He doesn't seem to have an Estus flask, so there's that, and we've got 8. So we should win. But this guy, don't worry if you're finding this guy a wee bit tough, because so is Charlie. I also just want to point out, because I'm such a nerd, I believe that is Fume Knight Ultra Greatsword that he's wielding, which is from Dark Souls 2. I don't know what it's called in this game, but that's definitely the Fume Ultra Greatsword. Look at it. It's got a big dragon bone smasher from Demon's Souls energy. This whole game is it's full of homages. It's full. I say homage. It's like literally, it's the same series, so it's not even an homage. It's just reinforcing that these games all take place in the same world, which I like. But a lot of people are like, "Ooh, fan service," and I'm like, "Well, I'm a fan. Service me." Tsorig drops the Night Slayer's ring, and you also get my thanks. We will run into him again, and hopefully that encounter goes the same as this encounter went, and it'll end in our victory again. But that's right, that's the invasion version done, and you get a wee ring from that. Moving on, we got a giant rat up the back here. Not too bad with our sellsword twin blades. I forgot what they were called there for a second. I'm really tired. Well, I'm always really tired. Nothing new. On the ceiling here, we have lots of these slimy boys, so don't stand in the same place for too long, even if you're picking something up. And at the back here, we have the dreaded bone wheels. They're definitely a lot slower in this game, and we do have some pillars that we can hide behind, but just, oh my god, never turn your back to them, is my advice. We got lucky there. There's 4 of them. So that's 2 down, and we do have another 2 up the back. They do have a much shorter, like they're short-sighted, so they don't see us from too far away. You have to move quite close to them for them to see you. So that's quite kind. I do think they are less scary than the Dark Souls 1 versions. But it's just ingrained in me from the, oh god, not even the ones in the Catacombs. Like, they're not even that bad, but it's the ones in the painted worlds, like the underground bit. I'm just scarred forever from the bone wheels. They scare me. And Dark Souls 3 knows this, and they put them in a place where you can see them from like the distance, and you just go, oh god, no, not these guys. They do have a chance to drop the Bone Wheel Shield, which, if I'm not mistaken, is the highest damaging shield in this game. Because if you're like me and you like to do silly challenges, you can do a shield only run with the Bone Wheel Shield. So these 2 slimes are waiting for us to go and ooh, shiny, and pick it up and then get the slimes falling on our heads. So we're gonna shoot them down. Very important. You can body pull them, but we do have a bow, so we may as well use it. So with those 2 down, we're free to pick up this Carthus blood ring. So we got the milk ring, and now we got the blood ring. Milk and blood, what a combo. So this one boosts rolling invincibility at the cost of defense. So this one gives us even more iframes, But if we do get hit, we take more damage. It's not a huge amount more. Hey, there's the bone wheel shield. Shield only run, guys. When does it start? Oh, I don't know. That sounds quite fun. I'll do that at some point, I'm sure. Yes. Rings, both very good for this build. However, not necessary. Like, we are a light equipment, like, builds. And we have the milk ring. We don't really need the blood ring, really. Our iframes are pretty hot in this game. Rolling in general, invulnerability, when dodging in general is quite good. If it was Dark Souls 2, it'd be a different story. But yeah, we're good. You can try it out though, by all means. Let me know in the comments how you get on with it. I don't think we need it though. We have enough sort of agility. These guys, yeah, their biggest weakness is just being comboed. So if you are able to get a few hits out, sort of stun lock them, they're not so scary. If we head up these stairs, first of all, we can find Hatlad up at the top of the stairs here. Just quickly take him out. We do have a couple of these speedy boys up here, so we're going to run away. Sort of take them down here. Ball of Nope has now exploded, and there's a crab for some reason. There's just a little crab. And it dropped a dark gem. So if you did want to infuse your weapon with dark, which, if I am not mistaken, scales off of int and faith, the lowest of the two. So it's if you're leveling both. For example, you know, if you're doing like a sort of archmage build where you're using hexes and pyromancy and sorcery and faith, and that gives you the option for a dark weapon. I don't think speccing purely into dark in this game is a good idea, because there are quite a lot of things that resist dark, but being a kind of jack of all trades magic user can be good. So there's a dark gem. Here is the weapon that we tried and failed to reach before via the jump. If we had made that jump, it would have allowed us to come over here and get Hatlad without going through all that. But it's, you know, we were gonna tackle it all anyway. It's chill. I didn't even hear him coming. Lying in wait, waiting to ambush us. Grave Warden's ashes, so we can give those to the I was going to say the Firekeeper. The Handmaiden, that's it. The Handmaiden. In the Firelink Shrine to expand her inventory. And that was a hidden wall. Fantastic. So that's that bit done. Now we're going to the final part of the catacombs. There's a couple of crystal lizards here. Be careful. They do have a tendency to get stuck in the wall and sometimes even fall through the wall. If that happens, don't panic. You can just reload the game. And, well, if they fall through the wall, you get the loot. So that's fine. But if you do lose them, remember, you can just reload the game, like exit and then start back up again. And the crystal lizard will be sitting there just right beside you. Oh, this guy, if you are... I was going to say, if you're canny, you can get him to fall off the edge there, which is always fun. But also, if you give him a little fright, he's not too hard just to combo down. Yellow bug pellet, I believe that is for lightning defense or holy defense. Suspended bridge is wearing thin. So that is your clue for what is about to happen. Careful, this bridge is fragile, you know. Oh, we're going to open this just to have that as a shortcut back should we need it. Should you die to all these millions of skeletons that are going to spawn in this room. There's a shortcut there for us. There's another item there, black blood pellet. I've never used those. I hope they're good. I've never used them. Up here on the path to the right, we have Anri. So, provided you've been following his quest and rested at the bonfire at least once, Anri will be here. He is looking for Horus. No, we've not seen Horus. Oh, Horus, where have you run off to? Well, if you pitch your camera down, there's Horus. I don't know what happened. I don't know how he got down there, but somehow he's fallen down and he's gone hollow, bless him. So we'll see him shortly to send him off. So very important that you chat to Henri here to progress his quest, and with him, the Hollow Lord ending, the sort of secret ending, if you will, perfect ending. Let's call it the perfect ending to Dark Souls 3. Right, there's the bridge that is fragile. We can skip it entirely by dropping down to this bit here. But we are going to use it. Don't worry, you can run across it just fine. But if you end up fighting on the bridge, that's where you can have an issue. So, running back across the bridge does trigger all of the skeletons to spawn. So we're going to bolt it all the way back. And this edge here, this side of the bridge here, we're just going to give it one hit. And the whole thing comes crashing down. One skeleton did manage to escape. The rest of them fall to their doom, which is incredibly satisfying. If you stand there for long enough marveling at your genius, it does come up with press A to descend. And you go, huh, descend? So you can go down here. And that is the way to our next, albeit optional, area. So we're just popping down just to show you, look, it's a ladder. The bridge became a ladder. We're not going to come down here just yet, but we are going to tackle this in the next part of the walkthrough after we're done with the catacombs. But just sort of showing you that's, you know, that's the way to the next area. So now we got the climb back up the bridge. Okay, coming up next, through this door at the end, which if you're being chased by a bunch of skeletons is not fun, make sure you deal with them, is the boss, Highlord Wolnir. This boss is a gimmick boss, a puzzle boss, if you will. It's not that hard to figure out, the puzzle, but it does have a gimmick, which I do quite like. So if you come up and touch the gauntlet, it transports you into this whimsical, magical, dark world where we can fight the boss. Okay, so the average player is going to run forward and grab this shiny thing, right? That's what the game wants you to do. It's a trap. You can actually, if you go off to the side here, you can see what is waiting to ambush you. It's kind of dark, but yeah, Wolnir with his bangles. So this boss, the gimmick behind this boss is you have to attack the shiny things. The big shiny bangles. There he is. They're not shiny yet. I believe you can start the fight just hitting him from here. And it gives you a huge advantage because you get the first hit. However, you know, we're going to assume that you ran forward and picked up the tome, and that's how the fight started. So his main attacks are just to swipe left and right, which is fairly easy to dodge because it's so slow. But you do want to remember to control your camera in such a way as that you can see, you know, where the hand's coming from for the timing of it, because he's so big that you have to, like, you know what I mean? Like, you have to actually, like, control your camera to be able to see where he's aiming for. Do not go too close to the boss's body, because the vape juice that he's smoking out is really, really painful. That'll kill you really quickly. And thus, if you are next to him when he starts surging forward, be careful and be sure to run alongside him, because if you get trapped underneath him, it's game over. So we've got 2 bangles, there's 1 more to go. However, we're going to try and see if we can get the boss to do some more moves, because we're killing him too fast. So he does have this move where he summons a big sword out of the ground. That can do one of 2 things. Either he can start attacking with it, swiping side to side, or he can plunge it down into the earth like this, which is a large AoE attack. When he does that, the sword disappears. But he can swipe left and right for a few times before the sword goes into the ground and disappears. So that's what you want to do. You want to sort of like back off, try and get him to put the sword away. So he starts using his hands again, because when he's using his hands, you can easily go for the bangles once again. We got a really wide open window here that we probably, if we'd done a full combo there, could have done it and the boss fight would have been over. But we're just trying to show you a couple more moves. He does, obviously he's going to be summoning the sword again. He does have little adds that he can summon. Best thing to do would be to, provided he hasn't got the sword out, is to focus on getting those adds down before going to the boss. Unless you have a really, really clear window at the boss, like a clear opening, sorry. Because then obviously if you can kill the boss, the adds will die as well. Scariest thing about being far away from him is, like you can see there, he can proper just surge forward really suddenly and hit you quite quickly. That one's quite difficult to dodge. He doesn't seem to want to summon his friends, but we're giving him a chance, but he's not taking it. But yeah, so I think we'll let him, there we go. So he's going to try and despawn the sword, trying to get us. So we're just going to move in and get the third bangle. But overall, quite a simple boss fight. He doesn't have too many moves. Biggest piece of advice is to just control the camera. Don't lock onto the boss, obviously that's useless. Just always keep an eye. Oops. That was just a bit of an early roll. Just keep an eye on his hands, so you can tell when they're gonna boop. We've reached the edge of the arena, haven't we? That's fun. That's fun. Oh, actually quite fancied ending the fight there. There we go. Okay, so 3 bangles, easy peasy. And if you do die, it's quite an annoying run back. But now that the bridge is down, if you just take the side path where Anri was, not too bad. Yeah, bridge is down. Sorry, we got the shortcut going back to that area as well. So it could be worse. At least there's a shortcut. With Wolnir down, we come out of our spooky trance, and that is the Catacombs of Carthus, Dunzell, Washington. Yeah, very good. It's quite a short area, and thus quite a short episode. So I hope you enjoyed it. Next up, we are going to go down the bridge and check out the Demon Ruins and Smouldering Lake is first, and then Demon Ruins. There is a boss down there. It's a completely optional area. You can, if you want, just head up these stairs here, and that takes you like on the main progression path. However, you know, it's a walkthrough. We're going to do everything, so we're going to go back down the bridge. But what we may as well do first of all, just to keep everything nice and easy and smooth and wonderful and lovely, is we're gonna... Oh, there's a couple shinies to pick up in this room, actually. A couple of shinies. I don't believe they were available before we touched the chalice. I think you have to beat the boss for them to appear. I don't remember where they are. Are they at the back? Oh, Charlie's given up. I'm pretty sure there's a shiny in this room. I don't think it's anything important, though. Right, up the stairs here. This leads to the money shop. The most beautiful scenic view in this game. Absolutely gorgeous. Edithiel of the Boreal Valley. This is the Anor Londo of this game. This is the turning point midway through the game where very suddenly game gets quite difficult. And it is noticeable. So be sure to make sure, you know, before we do Edithiel Valley, we want to be as prepared as we can be. But not for us, though. That's irrelevant for us because we're heading back to the Demon Ruins. I'll see you in the next episode, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to subscribe and you won't miss the next episode. Take care of yourself. Don't you dare go hollow. I'll see you in the next video.